Hey guys, Professor Bill of Comic Book University and Thor issue number 3. Okay, so I remember I originally told you guys don't tell me to start, reviewing this again or anything, blah, 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 and what happens? Donny Cates comes along. It's like, no, you should keep reading that. Mother fathead. Anyway, so fine, I'm reviewing the thing. It wasn't bad, but I'm hoping it's going to get better. All right, I'm hoping it's going to get a whole lot better. There's clearly a story here. It's just... it's taking a while to get there. Okay, let's first break right into who did all this good stuff. The writer is Jason Aaron. The artist is Mike Del Mundo with a little help from his friend, Mr. Marco D'Alfonso. The lettering and production is done by VC's Joe Sabino. I kind of wish that they would just get it straight. What does everybody do? Like, what is production? When has a letterer ever done production before? What's going on here? And again, one of my favorite parts about this is that the main cover A, is actually done by Mike Del Mundo. That's the guy who's doing the art itself inside the book. If the art inside the book is good, then you should be doing the outside too. If it's not, then you shouldn't be doing it. That's just my opinion. Variant covers are something different. Whole bunch of people on that. So, in this comic book, there's going to be a wedding. Why? Because, well, everybody's beating up on everybody. Thor goes and knocks out the Fenris Wolf. Fenris Wolf is supposed to be a whole lot freaking tougher than that. Okay, and I get it. He went to this lake of death and whatnot where Thor is even unworthy of dying, apparently. You know, like, I really do. I genuinely do in my heart. I dig that Aaron is trying hard to throw a bunch of new things in here and, move the story along. But there are things that are happening that I feel like... Not even I feel like. I was there. I remember, like, while they were still in publication, I was reading Thor under Simonson, under Walter Simonson, when a battle against the Fenris Wolf was something that was avoided at all costs. And when he did fight him, it was a big deal. And here it's just a big game. Like, it's a big, silly game where it's just, oh, I'm riding your back. Oh, I'm gonna snap you and bite you. Oh, no, you're not. I'm gonna hit you with my hammer. And just, like, what the hell, with one L, is happening here? To me, like, I understand what Aaron's trying to do, but of course, in a nerdy sort of way, but in a respectful way towards, just some of the work, all of the work that's come before him. I feel like Aaron has maybe been on this for a little bit too long, has been on Thor for a little bit too long. And it's not like he's been writing continuous, like Dan Slott writing Amazing Spider-Man. No, he's like, oh, well, let's do this story, and now let's do this story, and like, well, let's call this story this. Oh, now let's call the comic book that. Let's do 2 different comic books at the same time. Dude, it's time to chill. How about that? Anyway, just... yeah, the Fenris Wolf, man, just dropping him like that. How embarrassing. Tyr gets his mustache cut off. That was funny. It was definitely funny. The best part of the comic book, as typical, is Thory. Unmurder Thor now. I love that. And there was so much by Thor, by Thory. Thory is best flower girl there is. I love that. She's always got to be the best, no matter what. All that being said... excuse me. All that being said, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I'm glad that some parts of stories are finally being recognized. Like, if you guys read The Unworthy Thor, I think there's only 5 issues of that. You saw at the very butt end of that Thanos and Mistress Death, Mistress Death is gone now, so it's Hela. Hela and Thanos kind of got together. But I've never heard anything from that since. In fact, a lot of the other comics that are out there are showing Mistress Death with Thanos, or Thanos just ignoring all of that. Like, I've never actually seen them together again. And now all of a sudden, Mistress Death is, she's Mistress Death. Hela is trying to, get married to Baldur, because it makes sense. And I love that at least it was recognized that Carnilla and Baldur are, they were always lovers and they always planned on one day getting married. I'm very happy that was taken into account. But finally, like, Thanos shows up and Hela's like, oh, did I forget to tell you? I'm spoken for. Finally! Because, like, what was the point of that amazing ending in Unworthy Thor if we were never going to see hide or hair of it again? You know, it just seems so pointless. So we're finally seeing something in that. Yay. Let's see where it goes from here, I guess. Another thing that, yeah, I don't know what the heck it was with Sindar, the Lady of Cinders, Muspelheim's champion, freaking Surtur's daughter, Cinder, you know? She shows up and then she disappears just as quick. It's like she showed up really quick just to be like, oh, look, I cut off Nidhogg's head. Yeah, okay, I'm gone, bye. And she, like, where did she go exactly? What happened? Either way, just, dude, seriously, Nidhogg? Look, first off, you had Hela in this, and you had Fenris in this. There's only one other sibling there, one other child of Loki, and that would be Jormungandr, the Midgard serpent. Where was he? Don't care. If you're not going to do him right and you're going to treat him like a Fenris, I'd rather not see him ever again. But, I mean, like, now we're talking about one of my favorite Thor comics of all time. You know what I'm saying? Issue number, what was that, 280, 380? I think it was 380. So, there's an off-camera murder of Nidhogg, the serpent. She cut off his head, Cinder. She cut off his head and had his head there. And just, like, guys, listen, as a fan of the Norse mythology since I was a kid, since before I was even in junior high school, I was in grammar school. I was so into Thor, the comic book, that I read up on Norse mythology. And, you know, and I grew up simultaneously learning both mythologies, the comic book and the actual. And man, Nidhogg is much, much, much greater in size than Jormungandr. Jormungandr could potentially be considered the size of a tooth to Nidhogg. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you call the world serpent? Jormungandr goes all the way around in the form of an Ouroboros around the Earth. The Earth is Midgard, one of the 9 realms. And now, lately, there's the 10 realms in the comic books, but of the 9 realms, that's, boom, he goes around that one Earth, that one realm, that one planet in the realm. But then, those are all a part of the world tree that allows you to get to all these different places. So the world tree is ginormous compared to, like, the planets themselves are specks. You know what I'm saying? With the realms here, the planets are specks. And then at the roots of the world tree rests Nidhogg, who's gnawing at these roots. Those roots are his food. So, like, little tiny world serpent. You know what I'm saying? This is him stretched out between my fingers. That's not him round. No, that's him stretched out. And then here's freaking Nidhogg, just big gigantic thing coming off the camera and eating everything. And she's got this little tiny head. It's like, oh yeah, I just killed Nidhogg. Oh, he was the greatest of the dragons. No, I killed him. He's nothing. I don't find this comic book as fun as I want to. You know what I'm saying? Look, there's a story here, but I feel like it's just a trouncing on all these other stories. I feel like it's just a way of saying, oh, look, I'm doing this now. Oh, look, I'm doing that now. But I don't care, and I don't want to laugh in a Thor comic. Not this much. You have Thor in there. Let him be the humor. There's just too much wrong inside of this comic book. And, like, I really do try to be malleable, you know, and just say, okay, well, this is the way the comic book's being written now. It's just so not up my alley right now. Anyway, I know there's a story there. Somehow I've got to put Norse mythology out of my head, the comic book history of these amazing characters out of my head, and just focus on the story itself. And I'm trying, I really am, but real talk, guys, I'm actually getting bothered by just how irreverent some of these characters are being treated. Nidhogg is not small enough that you can pick up his head. I feel like that's just a really sad, degrading misunderstanding of what the mythologies here, both comic book and real world mythologies, are in regards to these stories. Anyway, I'm not going to dwell on it anymore, guys. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.